What's going on, Grant? How are you, my man?
Pretty good. How are you?
It's long overdue. You should have been on way sooner.
I know. Definitely.
Dude, did you guys watch that game? I'm still so hyped right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe they came back.
Dude, down 22 and then with 3 minutes left in like the third quarter. I was about ready to go upstairs and ask you guys if you wanted to start this earlier. And then they went on a freaking 13-0 run, dude. Freaking fantastic. But Jonah.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins is getting spicy there. He's pulling up, shooting over guys. I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say like because KD, he just for some reason his shot and stuff shooting over guys and that kind of flat angled shot, it just kind of reminds me of KD when he shoots. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he's not KD, okay, but he's getting
last three was
he's getting saucy. But and then the bench, Jonah. When Steph's not in the game, Pascal takes over. And then it helps to have Brad throwing a couple shots here and there. But our boy, Jonah, Michael Mulder, could have drained a couple crucial 3 balls there, but he did it. But it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, he had the team high plus minus of 27. I think he was lucky to be in with some of those bench units that played so well. But
yeah, sure. But Jonah, only 50 more games to go until I hit that 55 mark, baby. For the Warriors prediction. Let's go.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Blazers yesterday, but so for this one, do you just want to talk a little bit about what we saw from the Warriors game and then go Blazers and then NBA as a whole?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
All right. Sweet. But all right. So but to start, one thing I wanted to say, did you notice how what happened when Kelly Oubre wasn't in the game? It started to come back. Interesting how that works.
Yeah, there are a few players who sort of got that treatment in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
Kelly Oubre certainly being one of them, but
who else did?
Well, Wiseman would.
Yeah, but is that like a legit thing, or is that more minute stuff, or is that just? You think he's more of a liability?
Yeah, I mean, he started the game and didn't finish it, so just like him and Oubre, similar in that regard. But I think you hit the nail right on the head earlier that the Warriors can really chalk this win up to the bench because I really think it was like almost a tale of 2 games, at least through the first 42 minutes of this game, that it was really the Clippers starters kind of dominating the Warriors. And then all of a sudden, like you were saying, with about 4 minutes to go in that third quarter, the Warriors were able to hit that switch, especially in the lineup. And we can go back and talk about the first half and all that stuff later too. But that lineup with Kent Bazemore and Draymond Green playing together, I thought that one was very disruptive. They forced a lot of turnovers and didn't really let the Clippers get into anything. Bazemore finished with 3 steals and Green finished with 2. Curry was a part of that lineup as well, and he had 3. And I think all of them came in the second half. And so when they were really able to get into that lineup with like multiple intelligent defenders, multiple guys who kind of knew how to rotate around the floor and help each other out, I think that's really when we saw the Warriors kind of switch to that defensive ethos that like more reminiscent of what we would have seen like half a decade ago.
Exactly. Grant, did you watch the game?
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys think Kawhi looks slow? Because I think Kawhi looks slow out there.
Yeah, but dude, he's a dead-eye sniper mid-range though. His freaking laser beam shot, his mid-range is kind of fire.
He kind of has that like KD too.
Yeah, exactly. But he's so good when it got real. When it was like 197 or something and KD came in and Steph came in, I was like, oh shoot. Because Kawhi is such a scary, especially with his mask on, dude, Cyborg. He's terrifying. But what did you, I just not to go back to Kelly Oubre, but I mean, what do you think's going through his mind and the minds of the players when he keeps taking 3-pointers? And also, what was up with that one that he took in the midway through the third quarter? And he was about 2 or 3 feet behind the arc. And it's like, you haven't sunk one all day. And it was just a wasted possession. I'm just like, what are you doing, my man? Because he's tenacious on defense.
Like, I think he has to keep shooting these 3-pointers because
but what?
Yeah, because as bad as he's shot this year, and certainly it's been pretty miserable. I mean, defenses still guard him out there. I mean, he's a career 34% 3-point shooter. And normally, like, I would tend to think that what he's done over his career so far, which I think, how long has he been in the NBA? Like 5 years at this point. I would tend to assume that would be a little bit more predictive than the first 8 or 9 games of this season. And so I really think the only way for him to battle through this slump, and I think that's what it is. I think it's just I just think it's going to be like a rough start that will be ironed out eventually. I think he's just got to keep shooting, because like the moment he stops shooting, that's really when the defenses are going to stop guarding him out there. And that's going to make him even more of a liability, because you can live with 3 or 4 or 5 missed threes a game. That's not ideal, but it's not going to hurt you. It is going to hurt you, but it's not going to be like extremely debilitating.
It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, it's not going to kill you. Exactly. What's really going to kill you is if he just stops shooting and defenses like don't respect him at all. Because then all of a sudden you're playing him, you're playing Draymond, Wiseman, or Looney. None of them are shooters either. So that
Wiseman hit a 3-ball today just for you, Jonah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I keep noticing every time I watch the Warriors play, and I've seen like 7 of their games at this point, the announcers always say like,
I know
you wouldn't think this would be true, but Wiseman can shoot. And it's like, no, he started out the season 5 for 6, and then he's missed 7 in a row. And yeah, he did hit finally another one tonight, but Wiseman is not a guy who you should worry about from behind the arc. But apparently that's not his reputation.
Dude, talk about ill-advised shots with Wiseman sometimes. Like, there's hands right in his face. He'll just shoot it. It doesn't matter. He's not scared. But I guess that's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing as well. But
the thing about Wiseman that's more concerning is that he was 2 of 5 from 2-point range this game. I mean, like I think he had that one dunk that on a putback, and then he misses quite a few of those like 3 to 6 footers around the rim that you would think with his wingspan, and he's supposed to have at least some touch, you would think that would be something he could take advantage of, but not so much. I was wondering, Grant, you haven't been on the podcast, but we've talked about Wiseman quite a bit. Do you have any early perceptions of him through the early part of the season?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with what you were saying, but I like him. I mean, I feel like he could be the Joel Embiid, and I know let's go. I think he could be. I mean, he's about as athletic as him, but if he could develop more of a shot, he could be really good.
I agree. Well said. Jonah, what do you think about the Joel Embiid comparison?
Well, that was kind of where I was what I was hoping for him coming out of college. Because I totally agree with Grant that his physical profile as well as that athleticism is just super intriguing. Like he was like built in a lab to be an elite NBA center. But usually with I really thought he was going to make his money, and I really thought his upside was sort of on the defensive end of the floor, and really any skill he could add on offense, whether that was the ball handling or whether that was maybe expanding his jump shot. I kind of thought that would all be sort of marginal value. Like that was just going to be like the cherry on top of the sundae. If he could do that stuff. And I really have been a little bit let down by the defensive instincts. And certainly that's something that he will be able to work on, and it will get better. I mean, he's not going to be as terrible as he's been throughout the early portion of this season. But usually with those elite defensive centers, you at least see some of it as a rookie. And with Wiseman, it still seems like he definitely has a very long way to go. But I mean, not to say he's not an intriguing prospect. Like if I were going to do a redraft of like the 2020 draft, he would still easily be in the top 5. But I don't think he has that defensive player of the year upside.
Sure. Yeah. Grant, what do you think of my boy Damian Lee, Steph's brother-in-law? Because he's becoming one of our second best options that I'm trusting to hit a three ball.
He was good last year too.
No, yeah, he was good last year.
They had to rely on him obviously a lot, but he was good last year, and I'm kind of surprised that he's getting as many minutes. Because like, just asking you, what do you think? Do you think that Wanamaker should be getting more minutes?
I mean, if Wanamaker can sink his threes like he did today, I don't care. But I mean,
he looked good tonight.
Yeah, I feel like everybody looked good tonight though. So I mean, but Damian Lee, he's becoming that second option. I feel like, and he plays pretty good D, and he gets boards too, which is sweet. But
he works hard.
Yeah, for sure. So
especially on defense.
Yeah, I like him a lot. But Jonah, dude, so what are we 5-0 now when Steph's hitting three ball, like when he's over 30 points or at least 30 points a game?
I'm not familiar with that stat, but is that true?
I think when he is 30 or more, we're like, we've won every game.
Wow. I mean,
but you can't expect that every game though, right? But if he's averaging 30 points a game, dude,
can't expect 60 every night.
No. I mean, yeah, he was so good from beyond the arc. I knew it in that third quarter, even though we were down by like 19. Steph, he hit a three ball, and then there was a foul or something on Kevon Looney, did something, and he hit a three ball, and he hit, even though it was a dead ball, but I was just like, oh crap, Clippers could be in trouble, dude. But yeah, how did Dame do against the who'd you guys play?
Timberwolves?
Yeah, the Timberwolves. Because you guys didn't watch Anthony Edwards.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to say that. What you guys thought of him, because I thought he looked really good, and he had his best game against the Blazers.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had like 26, I want to say.
Dang,
but he looked good. Like, he was reminding me of LeBron, to be honest.
Really,
the way he was driving.
Who did he slam on?
Anthony Simons.
Oh, okay. Because I saw that one where he was driving and he slammed on somebody.
Yeah, that was a nice dunk. He basically jumped over him.
Really? Yeah,
I mean, pretty much.
He's a freaking beast. But what did Dame do that game? Because I'm telling you, dude. If Steph, what's up?
He had 39 and 29.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
Because he didn't play in the fourth.
Oh, for real? Were you guys killing him that bad?
Yeah. Yeah, we were at like 32. Damn. Except for the bench came in and they let him go on like a 12-0 run. And it was like
classic bench.
Yeah. But,
yeah, the Blazers bench Jonah. Jonah, when they were playing the Warriors, he was pretty pissed. He was like, this is atrocious. He was like, that was not good. But
yeah, I mean, the bench has been a little bit sketchy for the Blazers on defense.
Yeah. And then what were you texting me something about how you get pissed when Pascal plays the 5?
Yeah, and that's something we saw a little bit of in the first half of this game today. And the Warriors were pretty much drawing dead. They pretty much are drawing dead anytime they throw Eric Pascal in at the 5. Yeah. But that was certainly the case today against Ivica Zubac. And to be fair, I thought Pascal was still able to be pretty effective offensively. I mean, I don't think teams do a very good job of guarding Pascal because it's not like he is that dynamic off the dribble. Like, you kind of know what he's going to do. He's going to try to like get an angle on you, and then he's just going to put his shoulder down and kind of try to ram his way as hard as he can to the front of the rim. And that's very effective because usually the guys who are guarding him are either small forwards or power forwards who aren't nearly as strong as he is. Right. But when it's Ivica Zubac, there's just no reason that Ivica Zubac has to like be out there on the 3-point line right up against him. Like, sure, Pascal can hit threes occasionally, mostly off of catch and shoots. Like, if anything, I'm not too worried about him shooting that off the dribble. So if I'm Zubac, there's really no reason for me to be out on the 3-point line guarding him. And I think Pascal was able to take advantage of that quite a bit and then give it all back on the defensive side of the floor. Those lineups with Pascal at center, I'm excited to see them post the advanced box score for this game because it just felt like any lineup where Pascal was at the 5, the Clippers were just going to attack him every time. And that was also true with James Wiseman at the 5-2. It really feels like the Warriors play their best defense when they've either got Draymond or Looney in there.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the Warriors defense is low-key pesky though. At one point the Warriors did have I think they forced 8 turnovers at one point, but because the Clippers they definitely had more turnovers because the Warriors, that third quarter was abysmal. That was so bad. They were fouling so much, and then they played 2 good minutes of basketball and then came back basically because that third quarter was awful. But dude, Bazemore, I didn't realize how kind of like pesky, not pesky, like kind of. He's got that Beverly kind of attitude. I felt like he was more level-headed. I haven't really seen him play that much besides like when he was on the Warriors in the past, but I didn't realize he kind of chirps.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He was getting pretty worked up about that foul, illegal screen on Zubac. What did you guys think about that one?
I didn't really know because he got pinned in between and then Zubac pushed him into Kawhi basically. So I didn't really know. They overturned it, right?
Yeah, so it ended up being a foul on Zubac. What I kind of thought is the original call was a reach-in on, and to put in context, this was about midway through the third quarter, probably about 4 or 5 minutes to go. At this point, the Clippers were up by about 14 or 15. And what happened was Kawhi Leonard was running a high pick and roll with Zubac, and Kent Bazemore was guarding Kawhi. And he reached in, and as he was reaching in to try to steal the ball from Kawhi, he got leveled by Zubac, who it was an illegal screen. And so he has a legitimate gripe there. So Steve Kerr ends up challenging that, and it gets overturned. But what kind of confused me about that decision to overturn that particular call was that although it was an illegal screen, the original call on the floor was a reach-in, and it was pretty clear that Bazemore had initiated that contact with Kawhi like before he ran into the screen. And so I feel like both of those fouls were kind of existing at the same time. And when that's the case, like, why would you overturn the one that happened first? And so you could call the one that happened second. Like, that part of it really made no sense, because I think the Warriors were 100% correct that Bazemore did get fouled. But I mean, the question's not whether or not he got fouled. It's
who did it first.
Which call should have been made first.
Yeah.
And so that one didn't really make sense to me. And then that one really ended up being a momentum changer, because right after that, Zubac won the tip, but Bazemore hustled into the backcourt and got the ball. And I think the Warriors scored on that possession. And that's really the play that kind of sparked the comeback. And so that was a big momentum shift in the game.
It was so funny when Wiseman had the jump ball with Beverly. He's like a foot taller than him. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and then Beverly wound up winning that jump ball too.
Yeah, so. He did, because it bounced off somebody and then it went straight to a Clipper.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't say this was a very great game from Patrick Beverly, especially in the first half when he was guarding Curry. Curry really could not get anything going, and Curry was definitely a lot more aggressive in the second half. But I think Beverly did an amazing job of guarding him through like the first 24 minutes, as well as Serge Ibaka is another guy who I thought played really great tonight.
His shot making, oh my God. He has that high arc, dude. And he was floating in some mid-rangers that I did not think they were going to drop. I was like, oh my God. They were clutch shots too.
His defense was great as well. And I think that's was an important piece of this game. Just the dynamic when Serge Ibaka was on the floor versus Ivica Zubac, that Serge Ibaka really allowed the Clippers to kind of have that hedge and kind of stop the Steph Curry attack at the head. And that was really important, I think, in slowing Steph down in the first half. And then when the Warriors went on their comeback, that was with Zubac on the floor. And so I really think this was a game where Serge definitely outperformed Zubats. And then another thing I wanted to mention, which just was another sort of part of the Clippers defensive scheme for this game. I really liked how they started off with Leonard on Draymond Green, Serge Ibaka on Wiseman, and then I think they had Beverly on Steph. And so that basically allowed them, like, no matter what the action was, they were able to pretty much switch anything. And that was the case with Nick Batum. They just have a lot of like versatile defenders on the floor. And I think that is really important when you play the Warriors. And then with their bench unit, they have guys like Lou Williams, Ivica Zubats, Luke Kennard, like guys who don't really fit that billing at all. And I think that's why they really sort of started to fall off when their starters were off the floor.
I like Kennard. Kennard's good.
I think the Clippers are definitely going to have to make a trade at some point during this season, because they're going to need like some sort of semblance of two-way basketball on the bench, because you don't want to have to be staggering Leonard and George and all that stuff all season. Like a guy who I'd really like for them, and this guy's not an elite defender by any means, but I think George Hill, and he's on the Thunder, he would be a guy who would really help the Clippers. But I mean, I don't think that's a bit outside of the scope of what we're talking about.
Didn't George Hill come out and say that the Thunder are more powerful than people think they are?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, what are they, 4-4 right now?
Yeah.
They just beat the Knicks tonight.
Yeah, the Knicks, they're doing pretty well, huh?
Yeah, they've been a little friskier this season. We'll see how sustainable that is.
You know what? One point that made me so mad is freaking when I think it was Mulder fell on PG-13. And then PG-13 looked like he had a season-ending injury, and then he gets the inbound like the next play, and then he's fine. I'm just like, shut the fuck up, Paul George. Come on, man. He's so good, though. There was 1 3 he made in the corner where Lee was on him, and I forget who else. Just right in his face. Doesn't matter. He's so good. Like, Paul George is deadly. He's so good.
He torched the Warriors tonight, 25 points on 13 shots.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I kind of didn't like going into the fourth quarter of this game. There were so many possessions, especially in the last 3 minutes, where George and Leonard didn't really figure it all. Like, especially those possessions where Beverly would bring the ball up the court, and there would be like 10 or 11 seconds left on the shot clock by the time he finally like made a pass. Like, there's just no reason to be running the offense through Patrick Beverly, especially when Kawhi is being guarded by Wiggins and Paul George, it was Brad Wanamaker who was guarding Paul George. So both of those, you would think that those would be matchups that the Clippers would be really aggressive and attacking, and that just wasn't the case. Maybe that goes back to like what Grant was saying. Kawhi was just lacking a little bit of energy late in the fourth quarter, and he has been playing more than what the precedent has been over the last few years. He's been like playing in back-to-backs. He played 34 minutes tonight, so maybe he was just a little tired, but the offense really fell off a cliff for the Clippers.
Yeah. I was so scared because Batum's a sniper from the corner, and that's what killed us last game, because it was close last game against the Clippers, and then Batum sinks. I think Beverly hit 1 3 ball, and then Batum hit like 2 in a row. And I was just so scared. Batum's still so good, dude. I forgot he even existed. But if the Warriors, he would be I feel like he's a good addition on any team, really. But he's so good. He only went, how many did he hit today? 3?
I think he was 2 for 8 today.
Oh, okay. He was 2 for 8, really?
He didn't have a good night.
Yeah, but I just get so scared.
I feel like that was an underrated pickup for them.
Yeah, for sure.
He's old, but he can still like make an impact. He's still athletic. He can still shoot. Like he's active on defense.
Yeah,
it's like
great passer too.
Yeah, for real.
For sure.
He's good. Who's your player of the game besides Steph?
He's just an all around. Like he can kind of do everything.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's so good. Grant, who's your player of the game from this besides obviously the best point guard in the league?
Oh God, I don't know. That's tough. I didn't get to watch all of it. I didn't really see the first half. But
first half was mostly all Clippers, basically. It was a little close. Warriors just went on a few runs. I'm probably gonna give it. Dude, Wiggins is coming into his own, man. But even Pascal too, though.
Wiggins looked good in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he did.
Hit some good shots.
I know. He gets that confidence, and then he just pulls up from anywhere. It's sick. But not anywhere. He has to be relatively close. But yeah, good game from the Warriors. So proud to be a Warriors fan after tonight. I was about ready to pack it up and go upstairs and do something else, play Madden or something. But that was sick as hell. Do you want to talk about the Blazers, Jonah, or is there anything more you want to talk about the Warriors?
Let's talk about the Blazers. But before we do that, do you guys just want to widen the scope a bit and just talk about our initial reflections on the Western Conference? Because there's been some pretty interesting teams
some far, overreactions,
especially one in particular.
The Suns.
The Suns, yeah, that's who I was gonna say. They've been pretty surprising this year. I mean, they had a rough loss tonight, but I think that brings them to 6-3, and they were in first place in the West.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, dude. But Jeremy Grant, I freaking love that guy. Didn't he hit a game? He hit a clincher or something today, or was it a game winner? No,
it wasn't a game winner, but they were up by 3 with about 30 seconds to go, and he hit a corner 3 to put him up 6, and that was pretty much the end of the game.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Yeah, the Suns choked tonight. They had like a 20-point lead, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I was checking. Yeah, I was checking, and it was to Detroit, who has been not good.
Yeah, and Detroit missing their starting point guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, who'd that be?
Killian Hayes. He got a hit injury, so he's out for a couple months. That may be addition by subtraction, and the immediate Killian Hayes has been pretty awful. But
has he actually?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's been really rough.
Who did you have Killian going to? Didn't you have him going to the Suns in your mock draft?
I might have. Yeah, because I had the Pistons taking Patrick Williams, I'm pretty sure. So I think I had Killian to the Suns.
Yeah, dude. But
looking back at it, I'm sure the Suns are kicking themselves for not taking Halliburton. That seems like it. That was kind of the no-brainer at the time when Halliburton fell to 10, and that seems even more obvious now, or at least take Devin Vassell. But no, you spent the 10th overall pick on a guy who, if he works out, is going to be your backup center. And right now he has a sprained ankle. So not looking great for that fifth pick. But that's not really relevant to what we're talking about.
Bro, I'm looking at the Rockets game. They shot the freaking lights out today.
Yeah, well, they were playing the Magic, who, speaking of having your point guard injured, the Magic, they're kind of the walking wounded right now. Did Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier even play in this game?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to any other teams.
They did not. So yeah. Okay, so this is pretty. We should probably move on to something a bit more interesting. This is kind of just stream of consciousness, but that's what you get when you listen to All Gear No Game. So
exactly, dude. I'm happy to see the Celtics take a dub, but they're 7-3. But I mean, like, they're so good. They're making it to the finals this year. I'm telling you.
We'll see about that one.
You don't think so?
No, I've been
literally anything could happen this year. Come on. Literally anything could happen. Graham, where'd you go? What's up?
I've been a Celtics skeptic for pretty much all this season. You know that, Kellan. Although I've been excited to see Peyton Pritchard get off to such a good start. This is crazy because have you ever seen a team make so many like game-winning shots with less than 7 seconds to go than the Celtics have in this span? Like, they had that Jason Tatum bank in 3 against the garbage. Yeah, then they had Peyton Pritchard tip it in against the Heat, and then Jason Tatum hit another game winner against the Pistons with like 4 seconds left.
Yeah, dude.
I wanted to go back to the Suns though. Do you guys know how many double-figure scores they have?
Oh, it's something. Is it like 8?
7.
7? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Who are they? Let me see if I can guess. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Is Cam Payne one of them?
No.
Oh. Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
And not Dario Saric.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Dario Saric?
Yeah,
wow.
he's been playing well.
Love that guy.
Especially, I guess, now he's kind of their backup center, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the Suns. I've only seen 2 of their games so far this year. But
Donovan Mitchell had a night. Yes, sir. That's my boy, the Spider. They beat the Bucks. Let's go.
The Jazz have been pretty up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of teams have so far. So
yeah, that's kind of been the strange thing about this year is how inconsistent it's been. Like, it's kind of hard to make predictions or kind of really form opinions off the teams just because
it's still so early.
Yeah. I've really just more than anything kind of been looking to see like what the team's fastball is like. So like with the Blazers, they've had like 3 or 4 games where they've really sort of played to their potential. So like against the Lakers or that first game against the Warriors were the 2 where everything sort of just came together. Do you guys want to actually move on to the Blazers now?
Don't take away from the Warriors win, dude. God, I hate that. It's like the Warriors beat the Blazers. Blazers didn't play. I mean, they didn't play good, but I mean, just accept the fact that we're a good team.
Why would I have included that second game in a list of the Blazers' best games of the season? That one was one to forget. But Grant, I know you had some thoughts about the Blazers.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to pull up their box score.
I feel like one of the main things, and because we were just talking about it being early, is their shooting has been so inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's been which is one of the least worrisome things about them coming into the season that I had. And they've just gone on such streaks. Like last night, they started the game 1 for 8. And then in the second quarter, they went on a run where they were 8 for 9. And it just it doesn't make sense what they're doing at the moment because they have a lot of good shooters. Like Covington went 0 for 5 against someone I can't remember. And I feel like they're just kind of getting into that groove where it's still, they're ironing out those things because Covington is a good shooter, but he hasn't shot that well so far.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, he's still at, what is he at? 32% this season. So that'll get up to 34 or 35%, hopefully. And then, but yeah, and it's crazy too, because the Blazers shoot the third most 3-pointers of any team in the league. We shoot 3-pointers on about 42% of our shots, which I kind of think that's a little bit problematic for the Blazers.
You think so?
I don't really think that's a healthy combination because especially with Dame, part of I thought what made him so dangerous in the bubble and in that run last season when he really played the best basketball of his career last year is how he's able to sort of balance the shooting with also he's one of the fastest players in the league and also one of the best finishers at the hoop in the league. I feel like we haven't seen that so much from him, which I guess is completely understandable, especially now that he's in his 30s. It totally makes sense to sort of cut out the most strenuous physical aspects of his game. So I'm sure he still has that, but it's just something we've seen less of this season.
Yeah, before last night, he had been getting to the hoop way less. Last night, he did it quite a bit more. And and I feel like a big part of that is Nurkic, because when they're doing that pick and roll last night, it looked good, but Nurkic has been so slow. And the good thing is that it seems like he's starting to play better because against who was it? What was 2 games ago? Oh, Chicago.
Yeah.
Dame in the first half, he was going to Nurkic every possession and he was force feeding him and it wasn't really working.
Yeah.
He was forcing it so hard. And then last night it was kind of natural and it looked like, the old Nurkic and it was working. Because when that pick and roll starts getting going, it makes Dame a lot better, but also the team way better because then Dame can attack.
And the offense, like you were saying, is really at its best when Dame can come off the pick and roll, and Dame's always the first option. So if he sees like the shot open, like obviously he's going to take that, or if the big has come up too high and he can blow past him to the rim, like those are probably the two best options. But also it's so important to have Nurk kind of rolling to the nail or rolling to the elbow, kind of just that short roll where he can either drive to the rim or pass it to a shooter in the corner, or especially with Derek Jones, you might think like the new dynamic of having cutters coming inside and all that stuff. So I really agree with you that like in order for the offense to kind of hit the next level, like Nurk really has to be playing his best because he probably gets almost the second most touches on the team, especially second. He probably, I don't know the way to put this, but he's probably like forced into the second most decisions of anybody on the team. Cause usually like obviously CJ touches the ball quite a bit, but usually when CJ touches the ball, he's going up with a shot or it's more to score. But Nurk, besides Dame, probably has the most well-balanced diet of situations where he has to like drive the ball to the hoop and score for himself, but then also like find open players on the perimeter or cutting to the basket. And so having Nurk in like peak form is like so important for the Blazers offense, which is kind of an underrated aspect, I feel like.
Yeah. And just mentioning Derek Jones Jr., this team cannot throw a lob to save their life.
No, they can't.
I honestly think that Nurkic might be the best lob thrower on the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even Nurkic has had some really
it's bad. You can tell that Derek Jones is like wanting them and he's like cutting for him.
Yeah.
And he's gotten like 2 so far.
Yeah. And he's had so many and I think Derek's been off to a bit of a slow start, but it's also partly because we haven't really figured out the way to integrate him into the offense.
Yeah.
But there have been so many where it's like supposed to be a lob and he has to wait for the ball to come down. Yeah. And as great of a finisher as he is, when he can like get above the defense, when he has to like jump up and kind of power through defenders at the rim, like he's not very good at that at all. So if he has the ball on the ground and he has to somehow like finish through contact or finish through a center, like that's just never going to happen. And so but he is like such a smart cutter and such like a dynamic player in that sense that we really do need to do a better job of like capitalizing on those opportunities he presents.
For sure.
And another thing was I was just going to say he shot so well in the preseason. I really thought he was going to turn a corner in that sense because he wasn't really a good shooter in Miami, but I thought his form looked a lot better, but that certainly has not come true in the season. He's been a pretty bad shooter.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like he's an okay open 3-point shooter, but when he's guarded, he's just horrible.
Yeah,
like if he has his time, because like some players like CJ, he shoots really well when he doesn't have much time. But like when Jones has gotten time to like set himself, he's made more of those. And so like it's almost like when that pick and roll gets going, stuff like that, where he gets open looks, like picking his spots to take those might be better.
Yeah, totally. And another thing I'll just add on to that is especially from the corners, that's like when he has open shots from the corners, that's probably like almost a 40% shot, probably like 35 to 40% shot. But when it's contested or when it's an above the break 3, like that's really when it starts to become more challenging for Derek.
On offense and defense, who do you think has been better so far, Covington or Jones?
Oh, definitely Robert Covington, I would say, on both ends. He's so amazing to watch on defense because he's not particularly like athletic. We've talked about this a lot just on the podcast with Robert Covington. Like he's not a guy you'll throw on like a LeBron or a Kawhi or a Giannis against like the best wings and expect him to like stop those guys or stay in front of them. But he's just so smart and he has the best hands of any player in the league that you really can't pass or dribble the ball on the same side of the court as Robert Covington, or else he's just going to take it away. And that's just been very impressive to watch. And then on offense, he's started to shoot a little better over the past few games. He shot really well last night. He shot well against the Timberwolves, right? And then he shot really well against the Bulls in the first half. He started out like 4 for 5. And then he missed a lot in the fourth quarter, which was frustrating, but it does seem like that's starting to come around.
And that was everyone that game.
Yeah.
Dame could not hit a shot in the second half. If Dame could have hit like 3 shots that he took in the second half, I think we would have won.
Didn't he go like 0 of 8 or something?
No, he finally hit one with like 5 seconds left, and it was a crazy fadeaway 3. But by then, the prospects of coming back were very small. It was also frustrating in that game how our first inbounds play, we tried to get it to Dame, and then they tackled him, and so we couldn't pass it to him. And so that
Carmelo had to shoot a fadeaway 3.
Yeah, that last play call was pretty terrible. I thought it was just Damian Lillard running to the half court line, and I mean obviously he didn't get open because he just ran in a straight line.
Yeah.
So then we passed it to Melo, who not only was he not like facing any teammate he could pass to, he wasn't even facing the basket, and so with 4 seconds left, he pretty much just chucked it over his shoulder and didn't really come close to making it. So that play was pretty much doomed from the start.
Speaking of Carmelo, I feel like the other main thing has been the defense of the bench.
Yeah.
Specifically Carmelo and Enes Kanter. What do you think of that? Do you think they need to switch something up? Are you a Harry Giles fan?
Oh, am I ever?
You want to see him play for Kanter? Yeah.
In some situations, Kanter is a very limited player, and what he is good at, he's been doing an awesome job of that this season. So that's basically just like offensive rebounds and just cleaning stuff up around the basket. And so if you're going against a team where you're not really worried about what they do on offense, so like the Timberwolves are a perfect example of that. If you're not really worried about like Ed Davis or like D'Angelo Russell, like both of those guys are like pretty unathletic. So Kanter's not really at that big of a deficit against them. So in those matchups, he can be pretty destructive. When you need to stop Steph Curry, who's been lighting you up for 62 points, Enes Kanter is probably not the guy I would choose for that matchup. And I certainly wouldn't choose to play him for all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter while we were trying to make a comeback. I think we must have gotten like 3 stops in that entire fourth quarter. So I would definitely and same goes for Chicago. Like against Chicago in the fourth quarter, Kobe White and Zach LaVine were pretty much taking any shot they wanted to in the mid-range because Kanter is just never going to come out to contest one of those. So when point guards and shooting guards can just have such great games against the Blazers because they can pretty much take any shot they want because our centers don't really come out and contest them, which is good because we saw what happens in the preseason when Kanter and Nurkic come out to the perimeter and they are too slow to get back. And so it pretty much is just open season underneath the basket. But I mean, as a sort of change-up look, and this isn't something I'd go to for more than like 7 or 8 minutes a game, but just to have Harry Giles or even have Robert Covington play some center and just kind of get a more dynamic defensive lineup out there, I definitely think that would be a worthwhile experiment.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, do you guys want to talk about the Kings game? The upcoming game with the Blazers? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the Hassan Whiteside revenge game. Although Hassan Whiteside's kind of fallen out of favor in Sacramento. He doesn't really play that much.
I know. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I still think Hassan's a fine player. I think.
Oh, yeah. I think he's underrated. He gets too much hate.
I totally agree. There's no way he should have gotten a minimum contract and then not even played. Like there are so many teams you could help out, like Washington for one, and then New Orleans. Like New Orleans defense is so bad once Steven Adams is off the floor, and it's like Jackson Hayes or God forbid they play Nicolo Melli at center, like Hassan's going to get traded at some point this season. There's just no way around it. There are too many teams who are like struggling on defense, and Sacramento's not even playing Hassan. So I think he's going to be definitely a guy who doesn't finish the year on the Kings. So yeah, the Kings, speaking of guards who can take advantage of our big's lack of mobility, De'Aaron Fox would
the fastest guy in the league.
That category.
Is he like the fastest dude in the league?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun. Bro, it was so funny today when like Zubats was out there guarding Steph, and Steph was just saucing him up and then runs around to the other side of the court and then hucks up a 3-ball. It gave me flashbacks to the Cantor thing, except Cantor didn't really come out and guard Steph. He just hacked the shit out of him when Steph drove.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. But do you think the Blazers? Remember, weren't you saying something about you think the Blazers would go 14-2 in their next 16 games, and that's what game are we on now? Because I think this was that was previewing the series with the Warriors.
Yeah. So now we're on the 5th game of January, and we're 2-2. So we'd have to go 12-0 for that to happen, which seems a little bit less likely than I might have thought it was.
You thought you're going to sweep the Warriors, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
The Warriors
have something else for you.
The Warriors have looked a lot better than they did the first few games of the season. Especially since Draymond's come back. He has helped them out, and Steph Curry can finally make a shot. So, I mean, it was back then we were talking about a somewhat different Warriors team. But I still think the Blazers are going to go like 10-6 or 11-5 in January. Like, it's just been like so Jekyll and Hyde for the Blazers this year, because there have been games where we've looked like the 3rd best team in the West, which is where Shannon predicted us to be at the beginning of the season. And I had us at the 4th seed, so I wasn't too far off. And then there have been games like against the Warriors where, I mean, we literally look like we have the worst defense in the league. So it's just kind of a matter of which of those teams show, because it's like a cliche, but the Blazers can literally beat anybody in the NBA and also lose to anybody. So it just makes every night, and it keeps you tuning in, I guess. It makes every night an adventure.
I think
it does.
I think it's going to get better, though, because like they're figuring stuff out, especially on defense. Mm-hmm. They're figuring it out because like they haven't been able to practice that much, and they're figuring it out in game. And so I feel like it's gonna steady out where they become more consistent, and you see like more consistent results. At least I hope, because
I agree. And Nurkic is still playing his way into shape too, because he spent the off season in Bosnia, and pretty much from everything we've heard, like he didn't get too many opportunities to play basketball in Bosnia, and his mind was for good reason on all sorts of other things. And so he's kind of just sort of working his way back into game shape. And so I think you're totally right that it's just one of those things where we need to be patient. And I mean, we've seen how good this team is. And so 1 or 2 months from now, I think we'll see that for like 80 or 90% of the games instead of 33% of the games.
Yeah, I agree.
Did my boy D'Lo look good?
He did not.
Did he? So I got 2 different answers there. I saw Grant nodding.
He looked good at the start of the game. And then he was cold.
Here, let me look up his stats. And because
his shooting percentage at the end of the game was horrible.
It was.
I know that.
Is Cat hurt?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
It was a ankle injury. So D'Angelo Russell, he ended up with 26 points and 3 assists on 9 of 16 shooting and 3 of 7 from 3. 3 turnovers as well, and finished with minus 15, which was the second worst on the team, and that was all in 28 minutes. And so, I mean, that's pretty much the D'Angelo Russell experience. I don't know how you guys feel about him, but I think he's a little bit overrated. I mean, he pretty much did what you would expect because he couldn't stay in front of, like Grant was saying, like that was the first game we saw Damian Lillard really get downhill. And I mean, I think it's because Russell, who wasn't guarding Damian Lillard for large swaths of the game, but was on him quite a bit, especially at the beginning. He's just probably one of, if not the slowest point guard who actually plays in the NBA. And so he's a pretty flammable matchup for anybody.
Facts. What do you think of the Ball brother battle? It must have been so cool. I was just thinking about it the whole time. Like LaMelo stepping back in his brother's face. That was like the only 3-ball they hit all game, basically, between the two. Lonzo hit one. But I mean,
yeah. Grant, what have
trash
you
as hell from behind the arc
ball in this season so far?
What's up?
I was gonna ask you guys that because I feel like he's looked good.
Yeah.
He was my number one prospect going into the season, and I definitely think he's even exceeded my expectation because the scoring has definitely been a limitation for him, but all the passing and IQ and like court vision has been better than advertised. And so that's very encouraging. And I was a little bit worried that he'd turn the ball over a ton, which I'm going to pull up his stats because I haven't checked to see this season. I was telling Kellan that I thought he'd lead the league in like turnover percentage for guys who actually played. And his turnover percentage is only 15.5, which is pretty high, but I was a little bit scared it might be even worse. And so I do think he's adjusting to like actually reading NBA defenses maybe faster than we thought. So
he looks nice.
Yeah. But he's going to have to either become a better shooter or be better at finishing at the basket because I feel like he avoids contact quite a bit. And so often he'll go up and like try to do like a 180 reverse layup or a Euro step or just some sort of maneuver to try to avoid the defender and finish the layup, where I feel like if he drove and was a little bit more physical, because he's a good free throw shooter. So if he just put more of an emphasis on like drawing contact and less of an emphasis on trying to make the layup at all costs, like I think that would I feel like that would do wonders for his efficiency, or if he got a shot, because when he can't really attack the defender, like going downhill, and when he can't shoot a three, if the defender goes under the screen, it really kind of limits what he can do as a lead initiator of the offense. And so I think that's like the one thing that really needs to improve for him. I'm not necessarily one of those people who says he has to like become a better shooter to be successful. I mean, to unlock like the star potential, that's probably true. But I think he can be a really good point guard as long as he gives like defenders some reason to stick with him on like a pick and roll or whatever.
Yeah. Grant, I have a question for you, okay? Even you commented on one of the posts, like Jonah's basketball knowledge is just out of this world, right? Am I right? And me and Jonah were having a secret conversation about there's a job called the capologist, right? Wouldn't you think Jonah would be just a fantastic guy to have in your organization? Like, say you're a GM, wouldn't you hire Jonah to handle your financials? And like Jonah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Jonah. Come on, man.
When one of you guys is a GM, I'll be expecting that phone call.
Yes, sir. Come on,
that's a guarantee right there.
Yeah, dude. But isn't it crazy how, I mean, I know that LaMelo played overseas, but he's not, I mean, it probably sounds stupid me saying this, but he's so unfazed, I feel like, by the moment. Like, it would be so weird playing your brother.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He just like has that confidence that like, it's not cockiness. It's just like confidence in himself that I feel like is so beneficial.
Yeah.
Like to actually like imposing yourself on the game. Like he's not afraid to do that. He's not afraid to take that shot.
And it probably helps that like he was playing against like actual grown men in Australia. Right, and he's like scrimmaging with NBA players and working out with them over the off season for like the last 4 years of his life. And so I don't really think he sees it as some sort of like super intimidating or some like huge step to play in the NBA. I kind of just think it's just another game of basketball for him.
Which is so dope, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I also really like what James Brago's been doing and just bringing him off the bench. Like, even though Devontae Graham has had a miserable start to the season, I think it's kind of cool, like, to make LaMelo Ball sort of earn those minutes.
Didn't he have a good game though today?
Yeah, he was 1 assist short of a triple double. So
no, Devontae.
Oh, Devontae. Let me check. I only watched the first half, and in the first half, it wasn't anything too impressive. But
it wasn't anything too spectacular. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that LaMelo was he 1 assist shy?
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, Devontae Graham had another not awesome game. He finished 5 of 13 from the field and 2 of 8 from 3, which
it's not awful.
I mean, that's pretty bad considering like shooting threes is like his main skill. But
that's facts.
Gordon
had a good game.
3-2. Who had a good game?
Gordon.
Oh yeah, Gordon Hayward. He's kind of been under the radar. He's having an awesome season. He's on my fantasy team, and so
you're playing fantasy basketball?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. What?
So am I. Yeah.
Oh God, what the heck? Damn.
What?
Yeah, like we're talking about Andrew Wiggins, got him. Ibaka, he's been playing well.
What's your lineup like?
I gotta find it. It's pretty stacked. I'm not gonna lie.
Jonah, and tell me your lineup, Jonah.
I have Donovan Mitchell.
How many team league are you in? Like 10 team?
16.
Oh, 16? Okay, mine's gonna be a lot better than his then.
I want to try to get in. Do you think it's too late to start?
I don't know.
No, it isn't.
I want to get in on one, dude. I'm going to start one.
We could start an all gear and no game league of people who've come on to the podcast. That'd be fun.
that'd be cash.
I've got Gordon Hayward, Donovan Mitchell, Pascal Siakam, Kyrie Irving, Robert Covington, Joel Embiid, Brandon Clark, Norman Powell, Chris Boucher, Harrison Barnes, Grant Williams, Will Barton, Josh Richardson, Patrick Williams.
Grant Williams is playing good. Yeah. Dude, you know who actually was pulling up, though? Is Kelly Olynyk. I was watching a little bit of the Celtic game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was the game a couple nights ago when Pritchard hit the game winner, right?
Yeah. I was kind of impressed with Tristan Thompson's effort down low because there was like 3 or 4 guys around him sometimes, and he wasn't getting the rebound all the time, but he was actually grinding down there. It was kind of
a great rebounder. They need him back. I think he's out. He's gotten some COVID exposure. And so,
really?
Yeah, he hasn't been playing.
That's true.
Yeah, Seth Curry just got COVID. He's on my fantasy team.
Dang. He went off the other day, huh?
Yeah, he's been playing well.
That was crazy how he was on the bench and they found out he got COVID and they took him out of the game.
Yeah, because he was already out with an ankle injury. And then they found out he had COVID.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're out with an injury and you haven't gotten the result of your COVID test back yet, like maybe it's not the best idea to be on the bench, but
yeah.
Bags.
So my lineup is Giannis, Zach LaVine, Julius Randle, Jimmy Butler, DeMontis Sabonis, DeAndre Hunter, Seth Curry, Joe Harris, Kyrie, Montrez, Ibaka, and Wiggins.
Do you guys do points or categories?
Points.
I bet Sabonis has been awesome.
Yeah, he dropped low. He wasn't ranked that high in the rankings, like the preseason rankings, but I had him last year and he puts up so much.
Has he been better than Giannis for you so far?
I don't think so.
Probably not. Did you guys do an auction or a snake draft?
Snake draft.
Okay, so Giannis was probably your first pick.
Yeah.
And then was LaVine or Sabonis second?
No, Kyrie was second.
Oh, you have Kyrie? I didn't catch that. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Kyrie's been on a tear to start the season too. Him and Sabonis have been awesome.
That's the only thing though about picking Kyrie is that he's sitting all the time.
Yeah. which who knows when he's going to come back now. So
I have no idea.
You can only start 5, yeah?
No, you can.
You play everybody?
Yeah, or not everybody. In my league, I think we start like 13. No, we start.
How many's on your team?
We start 10. We start 10.
Yeah, we start 10 too. We have 3 guards, 3 forwards, a center, and 3 flex players.
So what the is a flex basically anybody?
Yeah, it can be anybody.
How does this point system work?
So I don't know about Grant's league, but in my league we have 9 categories, and so like field percentage, 3-pointers, free throw percentage, and then like 6 other ones. And basically it's like a series. So it's like best 5 out of 9. So if you win 5 or more of the categories, you win your game. And so that's pretty much how it goes.
We just do overall points. So it like adds, like you get points for like field goals made, points, all that stuff, and then you lose points for turnovers, missed shots, stuff like that.
That's dope. I don't know where did Steph go? Is he like a first pick? Yeah.
He was probably like 8th or something.
Oh, okay. All right. So he's mid-level. How many guys are in your thing? In your league?
10 in mine.
Okay.
6. So
damn.
That's why my team was better, because I basically got like the picks within like half of his team.
Yeah. That's dope. I think I want to do one just like with random people. Do you do it just on the ESPN app? Yeah.
I do. On an app called Fantrax, but
what?
It's kind of cool because it's got like a ton of information and stuff, but it's also not super user friendly. Like it took me forever to figure out. Like it's got so many like buttons and stuff.
So you're telling me you don't have IBM Watson on there? Can you do trades and stuff?
Yeah, we can do trades.
Nice. Because wait, does the ESPN app for all the fantasy leagues, can you do IBM Watson and it gives you like the trade things?
What are the? I don't know.
It's so funny. It's like that AI thing, and it'll suggest trades on how to improve your team. I used to use it in fantasy, and then it would say you could get this guy from this team, and then it would have a little bar meter that would say fairness and value and stuff. But
I haven't made any trades. Grant, have you traded anybody yet this year?
I haven't.
I made my first roster move today. I put in a claim for Peyton Pritchard on the waiver wire.
Stop it. Just because he had 1 putback. He had like 6 points, dude.
He's had a great season so far.
He had like 6 points last game. Plus, he had 1 putback, and he's the man. He's the rookie of the year now.
It's a dynasty league too, so it makes sense to stock up on the young guys.
Oh, so you're going for a while.
Yeah.
Like this is going to carry over.
Hopefully. That's the idea.
Wow. Interesting. That's sick. Yeah. I think I'm going to try out fantasy baseball when it comes out. I think that's going to be a grind. That would be forever, especially if it goes back to 162 games.
Haven't you played that before?
Negative.
That's surprising.
It'd be so boring.
That's true.
Baseball it'd be awful. And I'm sure the point scoring is awful because you could you have a shot that everybody on your team would go like 0 for 4.
Baseball's like the original fantasy sport, though. I'm pretty sure. Baseball was the first one they did fantasy.
Yeah, I was thinking about like before they had apps and stuff, when people had to physically do this shit on the paper. That would be awful.
Really, that sounds fun.
Jonah, okay, that's why you're gonna be a capologist or a freaking bankruptcy attorney.
It would be cool because you'd get like the paper every morning.
Stop it. Okay, you're done. I'm cutting you off.
The box scores and like be calculating all the stuff out. Like I feel like that would be cool.
Oh, yep. Sounds like a blast to me. Then you can make spreadsheets. But you can make a spreadsheet and make it easier. You just plug your stuff in.
True. That would be less fun though.
Less fun because it's less work, huh?
Yeah, I feel like you'd learn a lot too. Like you'd always be up to date on like how players were doing if you literally had to do it all by hand every day, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like you can learn just as much by looking at the app.
True, but like how often would you look at the app for every player?
Huh?
How often would you look at the app for every player? Though?
Well, you'd only handle the guys on your team.
Oh, I mean, I would say like if you were the commissioner, and then you'd figure out the results for everybody in the league.
But wouldn't the responsibilities be up to your guys, like each team?
Maybe.
Because that'd be a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, it would be.
But all right. So big takeaway. Warriors are gonna win out the rest of the season.
Okay, one last question before we finish off. Kellan, do you still have the Warriors at number 1 in the Western Conference?
I mean, should I not have them there?
Well,
we are. We're 5-4, dude.
5-4. Yeah,
we could be 6-3 right now. 3-3-pointers away from winning last game. Nick Batum and hit 2 in a row. Pat Beverly, and then they pulled away at the end of the game. It was a close game until then.
All right. Well, you're one Damian Lee 3-pointer away from being 4-5. So.
Yeah.
One non-missed call on a Kevon Looney illegal screen away. And not to mention that play that was totally a 5-second violation before Damian Lee finally inbounded the ball. So if we're talking about
what games are we talking about?
Against the Bulls.
Oh, I didn't really watch a lot of the Bulls game. Oh wait, yeah, I did.
You did. Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah, I did talk about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all luck.
Grant, where did you have the Warriors prior to the season? And
probably not even existing.
I don't think Kellan wants to hear it.
Dude, he probably has them at like 20-52.
Oh, I don't know about numbers, but I had them 9 seed.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
But we didn't make the playoffs though, right? Is that not the playoff?
No.
Did
you have the Rockets ahead of them?
Yeah.
And the Suns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's fine.
And do you still have them at 9th, or have they moved up now?
I still think it's too early. I haven't, besides the Suns who've looked really good, everyone else, it's like, it's still so early. I mean, It's like they're around 500. It's not, and it's still so early. I haven't changed my mind really on anyone.
Yeah, for me, the only team who has like drastically changed my mind on them, like even the Suns, I have them about the same because they've been better than I expected. But I mean, I still don't think they're really better than like the Jazz or Mavericks or Blazers or Nuggets. The team that's really kind of made me change my expectations is the Raptors. I mean, they've been awful so far.
Yeah. Also, the Nuggets.
Who do the Warriors play next? Let's go.
The Nuggets. Yeah, the Nuggets defense has been terrible.
Yeah. I feel like them losing who they lost, like Craig and did they have Grant last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, those two were really big losses for them.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic is like playing amazing, and they're still 3-5, exactly. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Plumlee too. Plumlee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because replacing Plumlee with Isaiah Hartenstein, that's a pretty big downgrade. Because Plumlee's actually a great passer, and he's like pretty skilled offensively. And so he can sort of replicate some of the stuff Jokic does. I mean, obviously he's nowhere near as good as Jokic, but he can like allow them to play a similar style. And so just having that sort of disconnect between the starters and bench, because the Nuggets were always a team where they'd bring in their bench. Like their starters were always fine, but they were such a deep team. Like when they had like Malik Beasley and Torrey Craig and Jeremy Grant and Plumlee, and they could really just punish teams. And now it's like Monte Morris, JaMychal Green, Isaiah Hartenstein, like PJ Dozier. Like, I mean, that's not really scary.
They had one of the worst off seasons, I think.
Yeah, definitely. They got substantially worse. And maybe when Michael Porter Jr. comes back, that's just going to make their offense like so good that it balances out. But,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's pretty simple. Warriors in the finals. Dude, have your thoughts changed at all, or is it too early, Jonah?
No, I still have them as the 8th seed. I mean, I still have them as the 8th seed.
How many more times do we play the Blazers?
Once.
One more time.
Oh, one more time?
March 3rd.
Oh, interesting. Cool. But we play the Raptors next. We're going to be 6-4.
Maybe when they release the second half of the schedule, maybe hopefully we've got one more matchup with the Warriors. I don't know. I know that all the games that got subtracted off the schedule because there are 10 less games this year, but we're still playing every team in the East twice. And so that means they had to take away matchups between the Western Conference teams. So maybe that means like one less game between the Blazers and the Warriors. But yeah, I still have the Warriors at 8. I really like what I've seen from the Rockets, but I still think they're just kind of a ticking time bomb to me because like Wall and Cousins are like kind of health risks, and Harden and Tucker, you don't know how long they're still going to be there. And so I think the Rockets are like more talented than the Warriors, but I still have a hard time picking them to be ahead of the Warriors just because.
Yeah, that's actually, I kind of am on the verge of changing my mind on them too. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked a lot better than I thought they would because in the games Harden's played, like against the Blazers and then against the Mavericks, I think was the other one where he was playing well. I don't think they lost to the Mavericks. I think that was like on Monday, but he's been decent, but it's just like, how long is he going to be there? Do you think, Grant, do you think Harden's going to get traded?
I'd say yeah.
Yeah. I think, who do you think, to Philadelphia or some other place?
I don't think he's going to go to the Nets. There's no way he's going to the Nets because they would have to give away too much, especially with Dinwiddie getting hurt.
Yeah, that kind of hurt their trade package.
Yeah, that like kind of ended that for them, I feel like. Yeah, the 76ers, I don't know. So you think they would give up Ben Simmons for him?
I mean, that's kind of what it would have to be. I think.
That's not worth it.
I think they're gonna. I don't think the Sixers would do that. I think they're gonna ride with that for one more year, where Ben Simmons is still young enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they're gonna give it one more chance. They're kind of like in a similar situation as the Blazers, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons has been great this year, and so
yeah.
And they're 6-2, so that's looking all right. The team I would like as a dark horse, and there's been no rumors about this at all, but I think Harden to the Pacers could be interesting.
You think he would go to the Pacers, though?
I mean,
so I think you go to Indiana.
Do you think they would give up like TJ Warren?
I think it would be Oladipo and Sabonis.
Oh,
the hell with that! Get that shit out of here. They're already good without him.
They've gotten swept in the first round for 2 years in a row now.
But they've started the season off nice.
Yeah, it doesn't really, I don't know, but because of the way I kind of thought about it, and I forgot where I heard this. I was reading an article about it somewhere that the team that should trade for Harden is really should be the best team that doesn't have an offensive identity. So really like the best team who needs a complete overhaul on offense, because you're not going to bring Harden in just to be like a cog in the machine. And you're certainly not going to bring him in to be like a second scoring option, because like all of his shortcomings and all of his, like even his offensive game is really limited. So just bringing him in to be like a supporting player. And I mean, he wouldn't be a supporting player, but bringing him in when he's not like 1A option on offense is just kind of not really worth it. And so Indiana's like the one team that is good already, but really has a spot for Harden to kind of be the main guy on offense, especially if Sabonis wasn't there anymore. Like I think a lineup with Brogdon, Harden, Warren, Miles Turner, and then like you can fill in the last guy. Like maybe it's Justin Holiday, maybe they get like PJ Tucker in the trade. Like I think that really could be competitive in the East for sure. But we'll see. I don't think that'll actually happen. That's more of just a theoretical.
Send Oubre to Houston. I'm just kidding. Dude, could you imagine if Harden was a Warrior? Dude, I swear, when Clay's back. Okay, is Oubre going to be gone next year, though? Like, seriously. I know it's too early and everything, but I mean, can he be gone next year?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
I mean, if I were the Warriors, I mean, I'd be trying to trade Klay Thompson for Harden.
Oh, baby.
That's one of the worst.
But how old's Harden? 31? 32?
I don't know. Yeah, he must be 31 or 32. He was in the same draft class as Curry, wasn't he?
But it wouldn't really matter because Klay's like 31, right? 30?
Yeah, I don't know, around there.
So, yeah. But, oh, baby. That'd be sick as hell. But like I said, that would be like Russell Wilson becoming the 49ers quarterback.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't. Yeah, that'd be fucking terrible. But, dude, I was watching today, underrated movie. I forget exactly what Star Trek it was. It was Fireworks. I forget what one it is. It's like the second newest Star Trek movie. I was watching it. It's so good. I don't even remember the first one. Or it could have even been the third one. But I completely was entranced. I could not take my eyes off this. I don't even remember what one it was. But yeah, dude. Cannot wait for a super wild card tomorrow, dude. It's gonna be insane. The Bills are gonna get knocked the fuck off. It's gonna be crazy. The Colts are gonna go take out the Bills. It's gonna be wild. Mark my words, dude.
Against Josh Allen?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
Not very on brand for you, Kellan.
You know what? The Seahawks could make it to the Super Bowl, being dead ass. Like it's a complete possibility.
What's happening right now, Kellan?
I didn't pick that, but I was thinking in my head, it's a complete possibility that they make it to the bowl and then get throttled by one of the AFC teams because they don't have enough firepower to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, and then they won't be on the field enough if they play the Ravens, and that's their only options, really. So,
it's kind of cool how symmetrical it worked out. That the Warriors went from losing in the finals to missing the playoffs, and then the 49ers went from losing in the Super Bowl to missing the playoffs.
And it's sweet how the Giants haven't been to the playoffs since like 2016. So, yeah, pretty awesome. Dude, the Niners, don't even take me on this tangent, dude. They get the 12th overall pick. They could trade up. What if they get Deshaun Watson, sell the farm? Oh, baby. Oh, man. NFC West is fucked next year, I'm telling you. The whole NFC screwed. Everyone sucks in the NFC. Except us, baby. But, yeah, what an episode this was. What a freaking episode. Grant, we got to get you back on, dude, when we have more structure to it. And besides just celebrating the Warriors' massive comeback victory against the Clippers.
Yeah, maybe after one of the Blazers games, a recap.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't want to do one immediately after some of the Blazers games.
Yeah, I didn't know if you would be watching the Blazers games.
I'm gonna have to watch the Blazers games, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to do one after tomorrow?
The Blazers play tomorrow. Yeah, they do. Yeah, the NBA's ratings are probably gonna go down the toilet tomorrow because of the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'm so jealous of you guys though, because I have to buy the thing to watch the Warriors play, but you guys get fucking Root Sports or whatever, and you can watch it on NBC every night.
How much did you get? How much does Team Pass for one team? That's like $60, right?
Yeah, but my dad's just gonna get it through cable.
Oh, really? Nice. Are you gonna get like the whole league pass?
Huh?
Are you gonna get the entire league pass?
Well, I don't think you can just buy one team. So, yeah.
You can get one team.
I don't think you can over cable.
Really?
Maybe you can.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably can. I think that's an option.
You know what? I'm an idiot, though. I have my parents get NFL Network for Thursday Night Football, but we have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So I'm freaking so dumb. Felt so bad for that because I literally watched like one game.
That's fine.
I felt awful, but it's okay. But thanks, guys. This will be up tonight, actually. So let's go. All right.
See you tomorrow night, then, Kellan.
All right. Sounds good. Bye-bye, Grant. Good to talk to you. We'll have to get you on again when there's more structure, okay?
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. Bye. Thank you for coming on, dude.